2022 Illinois State Fair seems like it was a huge success. We don't have the actual attendance numbers, but the weather couldn't have been better. The grounds looked incredible, and the concerts were well attended. Despite some severe weather on one of those Saturdays, Megan and I, we enjoyed the first Saturday walking around and taking in all the sights of the Illinois State Fair, and it really was just a pretty epic time, especially for those of you out there who enjoy the State Fair, and things like Megan and I enjoy the Sky Glide, or just being able to see all the people buzzing around, enjoying the food, and when the weather cooperates, it really does make a huge difference. So we've got some numbers now from the Illinois State Fair and a little indication on just how well it was attended. To give you kind of a snapshot here, we've got these numbers that the Illinois State Fair put out yesterday. It included 4,500 youth exhibitors participating in showing off their livestock, 4-H projects and hobby arts, crafts projects, all of that. All kinds of showing at the Illinois State Fair. You also had the Governor's Sale of Champions, raising over $220,000 for livestock exhibitors, and the concerts that were attended. Brooks and Dunn drew 10,142 concert goers on the first Sunday. There were over 36,000 vehicles that were parked on the grounds, thanks to the help of several dozen charities who volunteered, plus 15,000 service hours that were part of this, according to the Illinois State Fair. You also had the American Business Club of Springfield providing services on the state fairgrounds. They've been doing that since 2004, and they gave back more than $1.6 million to volunteer groups since that project inception. But we talk about, of course, we want to see how many people actually attended the fair. They still have to audit all of those numbers, right? I mean, I'm not sure exactly how they do it, if they drop a ticket in a bucket and then by the end of the day they take that bucket of tickets and then they weigh it, or if they're individually counting the tickets. So we'll get those numbers in the weeks ahead. But I think the indication early on, and when we talked with Regella Scavuzzo from the Illinois Farm Bureau, she shared with us early in the week last week for the Illinois State Fair just how successful their their fair booth was with all the different types of goodies they had to share with people at the Department of Ag tent. So this is just one representation of just how busy they were for that first weekend, which the weather was absolutely gorgeous for the Illinois State Fair.
Illinois Specialty Growers Farm Stand, and we sell those famous apple cider slushies, as well as cooked sweet corn and watermelon, and it has been a beaucoup year. We actually I had to go get more cider in a parking lot of a shopping mall from a farmer at 10 o'clock on Saturday night, because what would have carried us normally through Tuesday, we were out of by Saturday.
Wow. So that just goes to show just how busy it was over the weekend, and looking forward to hearing more from Rebecca Clark, the State Fair Director. She's going to join us here in about 15 minutes or so. So again, that was from Rebecca Clark, last week. I do anticipate that we will talk with Rebecca Clark in the future, not today though, but in the future on just how successful things were. So you heard there from the Illinois Farm Bureau about how they had to go to a parking lot to get more cider after the first Saturday because of just how busy it was. But some of the other numbers here that the State Fair provided: Illinois Specialty Growers sold 3,500 apple cider slushies, 445 gallons of cider, 4,200 peaches, 2,100 cuts of watermelon. So that's a lot of goods. Also, you had wood-fired pizza. Mia Bella's, they went through 81 gallons of dill pickles. Schneider's elephant ears normally go through about 30 boxes of dough. They went through 44 boxes of dough, with each box making 100 elephant ears. But I think the big draw here is Kohler's Fries. They said it was the best year they've ever had. First Saturday of the fair, they said, quote, it was the highest grossing day of colors ever at any fair. The record didn't last long, though. The very next day, they topped those numbers. So pretty big fair, and the State Fair put out a video thanking everybody for doing their part in helping make the fair a huge success. And something that I think is important that's highlighted, because there's a lot of you here locally that are integral to the fair, that are integral to the operations of the fair and making sure that everything goes off without a hitch. So the State Fair put out a video saying thank you. And let's get that video now. The buttons will work for me. And here we go. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a go.
This year, hundreds of thousands of you came to the Illinois State Fair to see all that Illinois has to offer.
You saw concerts, shows, and races.
You tasted food from all over.
And the only reason any of this happens is because of you.
Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for coming out to the State Fair. It's been a terrific time. I hope everybody enjoyed the food, the rides, all the entertainment. I can't tell you how much I enjoy the fair and my family. I hope you'll get ready for next year. Buy your tickets early. We're going to have an even better one.
So from all of us to all of you, thank you.
Thank you for coming to the Illinois State Fair. We can't wait to see you next year.
So yeah, the State Fair is ready to go for their 2023 Expo, which is going to be August 10th through the 23rd. So put that on your calendar. And I think a big draw to the fair is, of course, all of the delicious fair food. But speaking of food, Illinois still has some problems. And, I hate to tack this on with this, but, it's a jam-packed show with all kinds of things we got to cover. But Portillo's announcing that they are going to be investing in another state. Not just another state, but they're actually going to be investing in several other states. So Portillo's CEO, Michael Osanlo, he told Yahoo Finance that they're expanding to Florida, Texas, and Arizona. And he listed several reasons why Portillo's is choosing to invest in those other states outside of Illinois.
We're going to places where the population is growing, where the economies are healthy, where there's a great environment for companies, and where maybe the labor situation is not quite as challenging in some other markets.
Now, he went on to tell Yahoo Finance that the company's opening locations in Texas, Arizona, and Florida, and it's where he's going to find, growing economies and an easier workforce.
Sometimes you can hire people and you're hiring anybody who walks in. We're very selective. And so we have a pretty high bar on what we look for. And we had no problem hiring in St. Petersburg.
So Portillo's just one of several companies looking to invest outside of Illinois with their locations, including you've got Boeing moving their headquarters out of state. You've got Caterpillar moving their headquarters out of state. Ken Griffin moving to Florida with Citadel. And that's just the large corporations that we've seen lately want to invest their tax dollars elsewhere and their profits elsewhere, investing and growing elsewhere. And that means a loss of tax dollars for Illinois. So just tacking that on because, hey, we all love food and the State Fair is all about food, but it's hard to ignore this issue as well. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's